The first thing I want to talk about is why canvassing works. Why does canvassing work so effectively? And in a nutshell, the thing I'd like to say is that I believe canvassing works because you're essentially putting your marketing message and it's being communicated through a living, breathing human being. And that's what makes door-to-door canvassing so powerful. Now, I recently received a phone call from a small business owner in the St. Louis area. He was looking for some help with his company. He told me he had tried canvassing in the past, but it didn't work for him. I was curious about his experience, so I inquired further. And when I did, he told me that he had recently put 5,000 flyers out on people's doors and was sadly disappointed because he didn't get one single phone call in response. And that's why he concluded canvassing doesn't work. Now, I'm not surprised at all. Make no mistake about it. When I talk about canvassing, I'm not talking about merely putting flyers on people's doors. That is not canvassing. At best, we might call that distribution. And you can expect results with distribution similar to the guy I talked to on the phone. Flyers do not get leads. People get leads. It's what I like to call nose-to-nose, toes-to-toes, grassroots marketing. It's person-to-person, and that's exactly what makes door-to-door canvassing so effective. Now, in a nutshell, canvassing works because you're putting your marketing message inside a living, breathing human being. It's a very powerful marketing method because it's simply harder to say no to another human being than it is to say no to most other forms of advertisement. For example, if I put an ad in the newspaper, it's easy for the prospect to say no. It's essentially between him and the piece of paper he's holding in his hand. It's easy for him to say no to a piece of paper. All the prospect has to do is turn the page. If I put my marketing message in a commercial on TV, it's easy for the prospect to say no. All he has to do is change the channel. It's easy to ignore one of the 60 messages he'll see as he watches television this evening. If I place my ad on the radio, it's easy for the prospect to say no. All he has to do is switch to another station or turn the radio off. It's essentially between him and a set of dials on his dashboard. If I put an ad on the billboard, it's easy for the prospect to say no. All he has to do is drive by and look the other way. But what if I could put my advertisement, my marketing message, not on a TV, not on a radio, not on a piece of paper? What if I could put my marketing message inside the mouth of a living, breathing human being? Then it's harder for the prospect to say no, because now the prospect isn't saying no to a piece of paper or a piece of glass on the TV screen or a set of dials on the car radio. Now the prospect has to say no to another human being that's standing right in front of him, looking him right in the eye. A canvas lead is a good lead, therefore, because it's a warm lead. The prospect isn't responding to an inanimate, cold object like a billboard or a yard sign or a page of newspaper or a television screen or the radio dials. He's responding to a real, live, breathing, and talking human being who's standing right in front of him. The prospect is literally being confronted person to person, nose to nose, toes to toes, and while they can still ultimately say that they're not interested, I promise you that you'll have a far greater success rate through this person-to-person contact than virtually any other marketing technique. Doesn't that make total awesome sense? Now, canvassing is what I like to call the referral replicated. It didn't take me long to learn that the very best lead I could get in the remodeling business was a referral. I'm sure a referral is the best lead you can get in your business too, regardless of your business. A referral is powerful because it's a person telling another person. It's one human being giving another human being a personal recommendation, and it's simply the best lead you can get, no matter what business you're in. I believe this is part of the reason canvassing is such a powerful and effective marketing technique. It actually replicates the concept of a referral because you're literally communicating your company message not through ink on printed pages, radio waves, or any such ineffective means, but rather through the power of a real, live, breathing human being looking directly into the eyes of another human being and communicating your message through the power of living thoughts and words. It's awesome, it's powerful, and it works. There's no better lead than a lead that's generated from people talking to people. Now further, I like to say that canvassing is what I like to call interactive advertising. Now imagine how tremendously powerful and effective it would be if your advertising message could somehow be interactive and literally respond to the prospect by answering questions and overcoming objections. That would be incredible. For example, what if you put an ad in the newspaper and somehow that newspaper ad could literally talk and respond to the prospect as he's looking at your advertisement? The dialogue between the two, the prospect and your newspaper ad, might look something like this. Prospect's going through. He sees your ad in the newspaper. So your ad speaks to the prospect. Your ad says, "Hello there. I have some exciting news for you. Our company has a very special offer at this time, and we can save you hundreds of dollars off your next purchase of widgets." The prospect immediately says, "Nah, I'm not interested," and starts to turn the page. But the ad responds, "Hey, wait a minute. I don't think you understand what this is. It really is a tremendous offer. You use widgets all the time anyway, and you have to buy your widgets somewhere. If we really could save you a substantial amount of money on your next purchase of widgets, wouldn't that be of interest to you?" The prospect hesitates. The prospect answers the ad, "Well, I didn't think of it that way. I do have to buy widgets every once in a while anyway, but I'm really busy right now." And the prospect starts to turn the page again. But the ad responds, "Wait, wait, wait. I understand completely, Mr. Prospect, but let me just say this. We're going to be in your neighborhood this week anyway, and we'd love to give you a complimentary estimate on your widgets. It only takes about 1 hour for us to give you an estimate, and it sure can't hurt for you to take a look at what we might be able to do for you." So the prospect shrugs his shoulders and says, "Well, I guess I'm going to have to purchase some widgets soon anyway, and I would like to save some money if I could. Maybe I'll go ahead and see what you have to offer me. Could we set an appointment for next Tuesday?" Now, wouldn't it be awesome if your advertisements could really do this? If they could really interact with the prospect, anticipate objections, and then react with intelligent responses, answer questions, drive home important points for the prospect to consider. Just imagine how much more effective your advertisements would be. Interactive advertising. It would be amazing. Well, guess what? Newspaper ads, billboards, coupons, yellow pages, television, radio ads cannot interact with the prospect in such a way. But canvassers can. Canvassing allows you to put your marketing message inside a living, breathing human being who can then interact spontaneously with the prospect, answer questions, overcome objections, and help the prospect make the right decision. In the silly example noted above between the newspaper ad and the prospect, the ad was able to persuade the prospect to take a look at his widgets because the ad was able to respond to the prospect and interact accordingly. That's exactly what your canvassers will be able to do for you, and that's exactly what makes door-to-door canvassing so powerful.